Okay, we're back in the 66 Dodge A100 van. Finally got a little time and a little weather to get back to this. Right now we're just going to try to get it to start. Since I've had this van, I've always just jumped it back here to get it running, and that's what we're going to do right now. But I do have plans on actually getting in here and fixing this system so it'll start with the key before I put it up for sale. It's kind of cramped in here, so I'll try to work around the camera the best I can. I got this fuel cell with a electric fuel pump on it hooked up. I do not use the fuel system in this van. I'm sure the tank is full of tar by now. This is how I've always run it. And I'm hoping the battery's still good too. It wasn't real strong when I brought it down here. And we've had a few nights of below freezing. Okay, that's the fuel pump. So I got a button starter here. We just go from the hot side of the battery. To the trigger side on the starter. There never was any logic to red and black on these button starters. It should be red and red. So now we should be able to bump the starter. Hope I'm in neutral. Okay. We're able to bump the starter. We're in neutral. Battery didn't sound terribly strong though. So now we're going to the hot side again. We're trying to go from the hot side to the input of the ballast resistor. Yeah. This stuff is pretty sketchy. I think the lower one's the input. It'll actually run off of either one. It's just if you go before the ballast resistor. You'll be putting a full 12 volts to the coil. Okay. We got power there. Power there. The advantage to this fuel system I use too is we don't waste the battery trying to prime the mechanical pump. This thing's just going to make the carburetor prime directly. It's working. Just don't know if anything's getting in there. I don't hear the accelerator plunger, but it could be dried out. Let's see what happens. Dribble a little gas down the carburetor. Try the other side of the ballast resistor. Turn that off. We got fuel in there. out. Let's see if we got spark. So here's the wire off the coil. Hold it here. Try to keep you in the shot. And we don't have spark, so either I'm not getting power to that ballast resistor, or our points might be corroded. I don't think I'm getting any power up here. No, I'm not. So let's go back to our jumper. And a better spot. Now we got power. And that's telling us we got power to the coil. I'll check for spark again. We got no spark. This is the only time the distributor on a Slant Six is easy to work on. I suppose the pickups aren't bad either. But when they're in the automobile, they're no fun. I actually got to where I just pull the distributor out on the Valiant when I do the points. It's actually quicker for me. Okay. You know what? I have a flashlight somewhere. Looks like to me they're not even closing. Thought I grabbed a flashlight. Guess not. Okay, let's try to get a close look at that. It's funny, they're not even lined up. These must be really... See that? They're not even lined up. And right now it's not on one of the lobes, so they should be closed. And they might be. They sure aren't lined up. I still got power to it, but nothing's going on down here. Usually you see a spark when you open them up. Alright, I'm gonna have to go grab a few tools. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Hook coil back up. And first thing we're gonna do is make sure we're getting a hot to the coil. One side of the coil is a hot, which it is. The other side is the trigger from the points. So we are getting power to the coil. Now we're getting a spark there. So that's what we want to see. If you can see that, I don't know. I'm just cracking the points open with my pocket knife, and it's sparking on the contacts. That's what you want to see. So I'm going to disconnect our jumper wire so I can put this little file in there. This is an ignition file. It's 4 filing points down. Sandpaper or emery board would work too. Probably even better than this, because this file's kind of old. Okay, that should work. These must be some incredibly generic points though. If you need a better look at that. Those contacts, they're nowhere near aligned. It's almost like half on and half off. Okay. I'll put this back together. And put our jumper wire back on. And we'll check for spark again. I hit the power button there. This is kind of awkward because I still don't have that third hand coming out of my forehead that I want. Yeah, we got good spark now. Alright, let's turn our fuel back on. Actually sounds pretty darn good. Can't run it too long. I don't know if there's anything in that radiator anymore. Needs to warm up, and it does sound like that accelerator plunger is probably worn out, dried up. You guys are trying to fall over. I can adjust that. I never knew these seats tilted forward. That's what they made to do. I wonder if we ran it out of gas. There's still fuel in there. Guess the float could be sticking shut. Although that'd be kind of strange after the fact. Or we lost our spark. Something's going on. Yeah. Let's check on our spark. The reason I'm suspicious of electrical is just how quick it's cutting out. It's not dying off like it's out of fuel. It just cuts out. Yeah, see, we're not getting our spark down here again. There's the coil again. Okay, we're not getting anything at the coil. So I'm gonna see if I can bypass the factory wiring here and run our jumper straight down there to the coil. Yeah, I think that's going to be the ticket. And there we go. All right. Okay. Let's hook our fuel pump back up. Looks like my tank is seeping a little bit. That's not good. All right. I turned the fuel pump off, so it should run out of gas shortly. Okay, cool. Alright, so we'll disconnect our jumper. Yeah, it's running pretty good. Obviously, there's either a blockage in the accelerator circuit, or this plunger's just totally dried up. Yeah, it's not squirting anything. So what I was doing earlier, I was using the choke to make the mixture a little richer so I could run the accelerator without it stumbling and stalling. So I'll have to look into that. Obviously have a lot of repairs to do on the factory, non-factory wiring. Somebody used a tiny long screw, wrapped a wire around it, and ran that to the ground. Something strange going on here at the ballast resistor. And some kind of little jump wire going from the harness to this. Then obviously there's a break somewhere between ballast resistor and the coil because we were losing our spark. So got some electrical cut out for me. Considering how many years it's been sitting, many years now, it wasn't too bad. Just had to get a spark going again. Probably should have checked this earlier. I'm on a pretty steep incline though, so once I can move it again and get it down the hill, I'm going to check transmission in the rear end too. It's pretty nasty looking, but it's got plenty. Rust on that filter. And we're leaking some oil. And oil pressure sensor wire is broken off. Obviously we got some oil pressure if it's leaking or getting high enough to leak. So that is the skid plate. It goes right up in here. Protect the radiator and the linkage. I had to take it off because there's lube points under here. And I'm working on the throttle cable too. It was broken on both ends. I got this side repaired, but still have to hook up the inside. Yeah, the A100 is a truck, so it's got truck giblets. It's got kingpin, straight axle, front end on leaf springs. muffler's seen better days. Still pretty quiet though, considering it's blown open. The bushings, the shift rods were rotted off. So I turned a couple of aluminum ones on the lathe and put them in there. So the shifting linkage is pretty tight now. So the keys are still in the house. I did not have the ignition switch on since I had to jump everything back there anyway. The one thing the key would have allowed me to do though is look at the gauges to see if anything was working. Because on the 60s Mopar, the key runs all the accessories with the exception of the alternator gauge and speedometer. And I couldn't detect any movement on the alternator gauge, but Chrysler has a weird amper gauge anyhow, so I'll just hook up a voltmeter to see if it's charging or not. That took a lot of freeing up and lubricating all the points. It was so stuck I just had reversing first. But I think they're all there now. That's the access for the master cylinder. See if the driver's side seat folds up too. It does. Doesn't really do anything for you though. I guess it gives you access to the taking the doghouse out. And the mouse turds. That may just be a holdover design from the pickup truck, because then you could get back there to store things. Obviously, the van, you got full access anyway. Okay, I think I'm going to call that good for today. The next visit, we'll tackle that wiring. And I'll see if I have an extra accelerator plunger somewhere. I've rebuilt enough of those things. Those Carter, I think it's a BBD. Get it backwards sometimes. The Poly 318s used one. Slant Six has used the other, so I think this is a BBD, and the Polys used the BBS. It's a 2-barrel. I could have it backwards though. It's been a while. But anyway, I may have some accelerator plungers around. I'll check. So the electrical accelerator plunger, maybe pour a little antifreeze in the radiator, see if it holds. If all that goes well, then I could probably move it to that flat land I was talking about and start working on the fluids and stuff. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned if this interests you or not. Unusual thing about video platforms and the things people like and don't like. You see, I put my videos on 2 platforms. They go on YouTube and they go on BitChute. YouTube is obviously a much larger platform. BitChute's just getting started. But the reason I do that is I don't want to have just my hard drive cluttered up with tons of gigabytes of my videos. So, but I also don't want to trust all those videos to one platform. If something should happen, I got the other one as a backup. And even though YouTube is a much larger platform and has a lot more people watching it, my channel obviously is really small. I don't get a lot of views anyway. But this van, the part 1 that I did on this van, got almost no views. There was no interest. However, on BitChute, it's quite the opposite. It was my more popular video as far as views go. So go figure that. Maybe just wacky algorithms. Maybe it's just YouTube doing what they do, keeping views away from small channels and diverting them to the people that get the millions of views. I mean, that could be it. Maybe in a equal world it would be higher than BitChute. Anyway, that's enough of that ramble. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.